All right, it's almost time. Right now I think we're between sessions in this particular league race I'll be spotting. Welcome back, everybody. But yeah, it's Slide Job Racing League. They've got an interesting situation tonight that I don't really fully understand. I'm just a humble spotter, but I guess they've got too many people that showed up for tonight's race, so they're going to do an elimination race, kind of, where they race Xfinity Cup cars at Daytona, which is just kind of a lottery anyways, but the bottom few positions from each of these two races aren't going to move on to the main feature race. And they're all going to be in separate race sessions, so that makes things pretty curious. And this is weird what this is doing. Every time I run OBS, the sound settings are different. I don't get it. I should be able to hear that music more. Let's just physically turn it up. Yeah, it's probably about the right level. Just a little something in the background. So we'll turn the camera on. Right now, what I'm waiting for is the driver to go into his session. And I'm kind of in the dark on exactly which session he's going to be involved with. So it'll be soon, though. It's a 20-lap shootout type of a thing. Well, let me pull up the Discord. Maybe there's clues, vital clues, in the text that he sent me on this. The driver's Johnathan Canfield. He's GMC 989 on Twitch, so you guys probably are very familiar with him if you're on the Twitch side of things. And the league is Slide Job. I'm not even sure who's in charge of Slide Job. Let me look at the leagues that I'm involved with. Right now I have my Just Chatting screen up, so there's no iRacing to look at yet. Leagues. I don't do too much with leagues. I don't race any in myself. I just spot other people that are in these, and I'm not in Slide Job, so I can't go in and see the schedule and glean what I can from that. I think a lot of it's just kind of off the cuff. I could go into their Discord, but there's a lot of unnecessary chatter in the Discord among more interested parties than me. I'm in a spot, try to get Johnathan going, and it's interesting. I don't know exactly why, but what he told me is if he ranks in the top 14, he's locked in. So he wants to have a top 14 finish, and at a plate track, that's not up to you. It's just that simple. It really is just pure luck. And this is maybe not true in, say, a Coke Series race when everybody's very advanced, but everybody isn't very advanced here in this league. The other thing that's kind of going on right now that I think is interesting is on iRacing's Twitch channel, they're doing something for Coke. Let me go figure out what that's all about. I think it's the Clash at the Coliseum. And I think they're a little ahead of schedule there. The Clash, Speed Week isn't quite for a while, isn't it? Is it 1 week away? It could be. I should look at a calendar. I don't have any audio on it, but we'll look at it and see what's up. Oh, it's LA Coliseum. They're doing heat races too, as it turns out. I don't know how many people. That's cool. I just got my stream going, so we're in position for you, Johnathan, as soon as you start driving. I'm also still, believe it or not, in the process. I should do this now. I'm thinking about it. Getting the overlay going. I have the telemetry side of this going, so you were in a practice session when I first connected. I'm getting telemetry data from you, no problem. And but on the actual computer that I stream from and that we do iRacing from, this light seems bright. Let me check it. No, that's right. Everything seems bright to me today. Anyway, I got to get kind of the broadcast overlay up for when we do start watching the race. You know, like I can have the ticker going and stuff. I'll shout it out once we get going. Right now there's not a lot of viewers. I'll put it in the chat though. And I'll also re-shout it out later. JMC989. Are you streaming right now? Okay, cool. So JMC989, he's the driver. He's also streaming right now, so you get a cockpit stream view from that link. And that's going good. Welcome, squirrel turds. I see you found your way to my new emotes. They're not mine. I just found some stock emotes that I thought would kind of fit in a little bit with what I do on my stream. Emotes are a pain in the butt. I have some ideas for emotes I want to do the original artwork for, including an animated one. It's going to be really, really cool for use under caution. And well, that takes some time. I know that they're probably working in their
they have to race still, but the exception is they do not have to finish on the lead lap. Okay, let's see. I am tagged in this one.
I've got your Discord call.
It's at everyone. Okay.
So I've got you on stream right now, so that the people that are watching from here, and also for the YouTube video, they'll hear your explanation of things. Because
yeah,
I think everybody's really confused about it in terms of drivers, the broadcasters.
Have to race still, but they do not have to finish on the lead lap. It doesn't matter if they're damaged, anything. They have to finish though. They can't just retire the car. So those guys are locked in though if they just finish the race.
That's a weird rule.
Positions 1 through 14 in this duel lock themselves into next week's $200 to win race.
I'll tell you what it just doesn't make sense to me that if they've won and they've got the position, why do they have to finish the race? You know? And what if there's a big wreck at the end and only 2 cars? I don't know. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but then I'll pull it up on my stream, so I'm actually looking at factual information. So yes, so to know where you're going to line up position-wise for next week, 1 and 2 are locked in as long as they finish the line. 3 through 30 are locked in by the top 14 from each of these duels. So drivers from the first duel will line up the inside row of 14 cars. Drivers in the second duel will line up the outside row of 14 cars in the top 14. Then for positions 31 through 36, it goes to overall qualifying speed to lock those drivers in. And then for 37 through 40, so 4 spots, there are 4 provisionals. And the drivers that are listed for the provisional, if you're looking at my stream, if you're here with me, right here, and if you're not and you're on Michael's stream, I'll just read off the names. Drivers that are automatically locked in right now, whether they qualified good or they make it through a duel, and let's say they don't make it through a duel and they don't make it on overall speed. They are locked in no matter what. There are 4 drivers locked in. Dalton Kilroe, Noah Maori, Davey Hendricks, Dylan Parker as past series champions. Then the next drivers to get a provisional would be the Season 9 playoff drivers. Bridger Olson, Brian Dees, Ben Lacey, Michael Thorpe Jr., Austin McGill, Blaine Sparling, Derek Paulson, Jacob Locklear. And then if those drivers are locked in and we still need to go to provisionals, Robert Lucan, Zach Wareham, and Zach Probst are the drivers that ran 75% or more of the races in Season 9. But those are the only provisionals drivers. And those 4 that I listed at the beginning are locked in no matter what to next week's race. Not even the league owner himself is locked into this race. And he's not even here this week because he's had computer issues. Duel 1 is up. We are not in Duel 1, I believe. Dane Cruz. So yeah, we are not in Duel 1. We'll be Duel 2, Michael.
Okay, copy. I might, if they allow spectators, I'm gonna search leagues. This is.
I'm gonna pull it up as a watch, and you should be able to join off me. You can watch Spot, Ghost, or Test Drive. I'm not eligible to register for this race, so I'm just gonna go watch it, and you should be able to join off of me.
Okay.
But
Is this the super late models? No, it's not. This is the other Slide Jawb. Slide Jawb Racing League. I did find it. Click in. There's roster and seasons. They don't show sessions. Some leagues do, some don't. Some leagues you go in there, if they have a session up, you can go into it, you know, and watch or whatever. But this one doesn't. They don't work that way here apparently. So
you should be able to join off of me. I'm loading in right now.
Huh? It's funny, I've got Flo's chicken cock paint job that I did for him. It's because I don't race, it's still my default Xfinity paint. I gotta fix that.
And for those in my stream, I'm gonna close the music and pull up JCTV's coverage of this as well.
I actually have to do some work on paints. I think tomorrow might be a paint stream day. Because it's now, the truck paints that I did now need to say Craftsman at the top, not Camping World. And I might be making a paint completely from scratch for the next gen car for Jay Collins.
We will pull up the volume a little bit on this.
These web graphics are screwed up. We can see I'm loading it, but look what the Daytona map looks like through the UI. They're gonna have to release a patch to fix that. So much stuff gets broken every time iRacing does any form of a patch or an update. It's ridiculous. But it's not as bad now as it used to be. It used to be really, really much worse than this. In fact, Rob tells me, Rob's been on the service something like 10 plus years. When iRacing used to release an update, you'd see the races, you could sign up for the races, you could go into your race session, but you'd never finish a race. The server would crash and kick everybody. When I first signed up, it was like this actually in 2019. Everybody would get kicked out of the session from top to bottom, and all sessions would be affected. Literally everybody that's racing on iRacing,
pretty much all of
their
my
race was
team is
done.
in this duel, besides myself and Mike, and maybe Carrick.
Jake, let me see something here. I guess I could close this and let it load. Go Racing. Where are we even at this week? Well, hang on a minute.
Yeah, Carrick's in the first one.
Let's go. One thing I have to do is I did have all of my different views. I had my webcam turned off and all of my different views. The AFIX set is crap. I don't know where they're at this week. It's nowhere good, I thought. Wasn't it? Well, let me look at my bookmarks. Where is iRacing? Oh, it's going to be under this tab. Then the iRacing Week Planner. We're going to take a look at that. I'll look up official races, fixed setup, A license, oval. Iowa? Iowa's a great track. How could they screw up that? I don't know. I think I saw Eric Royce race it today, maybe? I don't know who I saw. Somebody was racing there. I'm sure it was Royce. Let's name and shame the setup builders. Oh, hang on. Let me get my overlay up for you guys. The part of the overlay... Yeah... that shows the digital dash isn't up right now.
They should be.
I'm glad it's not
right
there.
Here.
Yeah, they're on the grid, at least on my end.
Yep. Okay, so I got Austin starting 19th in this one. William in 22nd. Who else is here? Carrick is 21st. Wareham 7th. Wooksy starting 4th.
There's the dash. I'm going to turn the dash off, though.
And Marshall.
Because I don't have anybody's telemetry.
Starting in 16th.
The driver has to send me their telemetry with a program I wrote.
Alright, guys, good luck.
That dash to work. Yeah, we're not actually racing right now. He's not. We're just watching to see what happens. In fact,
JCTV is running an ad break right now.
I'll just go TV2. I'll turn that off like that. We'll just watch and listen.
Sunshine, shut up. Stop yelling. Stop barking.
So yeah, my ducking works really good. I got that stuff all set up right. I should write down the settings. So Jakes, you self-spun in front of the field? Oh my god.
Sunshine, enough. Stop running around.
I wonder if you hit a bump, Jake. Were you streaming tonight, by the way? I just kind of got off my work computer. This is the first I've done. I mean, I have been watching some streaming, but I didn't see you on.
Sunshine, please. Come here.
They hit you and broke a toe link? They're just so out of hand with that toe link shit.
Why was it delayed?
They just delayed green.
Boo.
The one thing that I'm going to fix, because I'm an overlay developer, is when I'm in this view right here, I can't see who's talking. But I can have an overlay that does show who's talking, even if I've turned off the...
Broadcast is having issues loading in.
In fact, why is this not doing it? See, like that, when I'm in this view, you can see iRacing says who the talker is, but I want it where their name kind of pops up. Even when I'm in this view, and iRacing won't let you do that, so I'll make an overlay that does.
Hey, Sunshine, that's enough.
15-16 front.
Come on, come here.
7/8 rear doesn't seem
here.
that bad. Yeah, and the other thing too is I don't know where your brake bias is, but your brake bias in the garage should always, always, always be 50%. Then you use your master cylinders to basically do your bias. You know, traditionally, oh, it's a tight setup, so move the bias back. That's a lot forward. I'm going to type in the settings that I use, Jake. And I have Coke setup builders that... Coke setup, not builders, but setup test drivers. Jay Collins, to be specific. Said I'm spot on with this. This is what you want. Oh, you did try that already. You know what, though? I haven't driven it because I haven't built a setup. Their last update might have messed with the brakes. But I should test drive Iowa to see if there's something weird. Initially, I thought I'd have to redo this for every track that you go to with the car, but as it turns out, it's not a track-specific setting, it's just a car-specific setting. So, and what I do is I look at the replay, you could do this too, and see which tire is locking up first. That's the tire that, either that axle, if it's a rear tire locking up first, use a higher number for the master cylinder size, use a fatter master cylinder. And if it's a front that's locking up first, then the front needs a fatter master cylinder. And if you're out of room, because you're already out to 1 inch, you just simply go to the opposite axle and use a smaller cylinder there. The smaller size gives you more braking at that axle. So the smaller the diameter, the more braking power you're going to have, more braking authority the pedal will have over that axle.
Early here. See how long it lasts.
So this is a 20 lap, you can see it on the overlay there, it's a 20 lap dash. He's going to race. Johnathan, I will be spotting in the second. Then after this race, I think we're done, unless David Stryker or somebody else shows up and wants to also be spotted. I'm actually looking for a spotting gig in the Open series, but nobody's racing Open. Nobody. None of the A Open tracks have been worth a damn, and B Open and C Open, if they are at a marginal track, they haven't done any good tracks since season ended, really, but they keep doing legacy tracks, which have grip strips instead of the track surface update. But in any case, I don't do that shit. Open racing's a lot more fun. Oh, you know what? I'm not running. I can tell some of these people are running stock paints. Let me get that all worked out. Everybody's cars are going to turn white while Trading Paints does its thing. Potentially.
This line, you're going to gain a ton of spots here. There's a gap up in front of you. You guys are catching the top two in the outside line. You're going to gain spots being here.
Yeah, the inconsistency, believe it or not, comes from ride height issues because they've so grossly overmodeled the diffuser downforce. They want to make it a thing. And in reality, it's a thing, but it's not the thing. But iRacing decided they're going to make it the thing. Oh, we got this new car with a diffuser. Here, build your setups around this. It's stupid. But that's what they did. Don't ask me why. Don't get it. That could very well be netcode. I wonder if it's netcode. Just kicked your ass end out like that.
Austin, you should get a run off the corner and he's leaving a big gap to the bottom if you want it. Big gap. Another gap if you want in.
Sorry, I was overheating.
Now, this is a fixed setup. I'm actually going to look at the fixed setup. I hear people talking about overheating. At 0% tape, somebody's really burying that front end to get that to overheat.
Up on turn
I completely forgot which tape settings to use with this car. The Gen 6 I know, but this one right here used to be more tolerant of pretty high tape at a plate track. But that doesn't mean that it's still that way. From what I'm seeing here, these guys are just holding straight lines and keeping the car rate in there. That's good. Wuxie is in third place. That's Christopher Bassinger. I think he used to be an admin with Jawb, or one of the founders. I can't remember. I know he's very much involved with this league pretty deeply. Yeah, nobody going 3 wide at Daytona. What are we missing? You guys are missing a golden opportunity to win this race. Come on, man. Lap 6 and nobody's making a move up the middle yet? Part of the thing is, when you have one thing, I'm definitely seeing a difference in their behavior here. Not just because it's a league, which is always better. The behavior is always better in the league races, but the driving skill is usually not. So, having said that, these people know that there are a couple of these heat races. This is technically a heat race. It doesn't say it's a heat race. It's labeled as just race. You can see from my overlay. It would normally say heat race if this was structured like a real heat race, which they should have done. I don't know why they didn't. So they're just going to have separate race sessions. This session will end. I'll have to exit. I'll have to reload the next one, which I'll be spotting. But you can actually set up your sessions when you do your hosting to have heat races. Podium does it all the time. But anyway, that's why their behavior is so good, because this is actually a heat race. you screw up here, you will be eliminated. And people that are below the cut, they'll do something dastardly, but it'll happen at the back of the pack. So they structured this race, I'd say, pretty well. They structured it right in order to keep people from, just absolutely driving like crazy. Naturally, that's going to kick in towards the end, because some of the people up front might feel a run and decide, hey, you know what, I can get a better position if I just do this. They get really bad ideas. And under pressure, too, so that makes their ideas even worse. It makes the idea bad, and it makes the execution even worse. So... .33's out there blinking.
Oh, man.
A little bit of a scurry there on the 17. Yep, I'm just casually waiting. We're getting to the halfway point of this, what would be a heat race. I was telling my stream that they probably should have gone with just... You can make actual heat races and determine all those rules about who advances and so on and so forth. And I'm surprised they didn't just do that, because separate sessions, it's just time consuming to set up 3 separate sessions on the fly with a broadcast waiting,
Yeah.
But it takes a long time. I know people that set up Monday Night Racing and other podium. I know the podium people. They'll spend a long time. It's not a quick click and it's done.
As of right now, as far as team games go, McGill is in, Ware's in, and I think that's it. Carrick, Anthony, and William are all out back outside the top. Kind of just watching Austin right now just to see if anything happens, because so far he's the only one that keyed up in the @10 channel saying that he has me.
I think a lot of people undervalue league racing. The majority of people who stream iRacing kind of
He's leaving too much of a gap to
live and
Brooks
breathe
right
the
now.
officials. Of course, a league race is just one race a week, maybe 2. And if you're a streamer, you have to do this. The streamers all put a focus and an emphasis on all the open races. Well, I shouldn't say open. Let's say
The intensity's only going to heat up here over the next
iRacing official series races.
8 to 9 laps.
Fixed or open, variously. But the vast majority of iRacers, even though they do participate in those, most of them derive their enjoyment out of this game by being in a good league. And a typical league is like anything else. When you were in school, you always had 1 or 2 class clowns. But everybody else sat in their chair nicely. That's what leagues are like. All these drivers race, appropriately. There's usually 1 or 2 exceptions. And if the exception is really bad, the league admin will give them a race off or just kick them out of the league. And even somebody who is typically well-behaved might have a moment, but as a rule, league racing is really, really clean. If it's a good league. Newer leagues, from what I've seen, tend not to be, because they tend to be very permissive about who they allow into the league. Oh, cool, we got a new member. Now we're going to race 6 people this weekend instead of 3. Like that. It's hard to get a league started. But better established leagues have a little more freedom to prune the ranks.
Stay as patient.
Separate the wheat from the chaff and get rid of people that are problematic.
Starting to get stronger. There's a wreck in front of you. Keep going, keep going.
The 12 car goes around. Who's the 12 car?
There's a caution. Start backing it down.
A 1 car wreck? Yeah, people are asking about. Yeah, they need to get off this fuel thing. Making people pit stop is not appropriate for a heat race. So,
Good job,
Yeah,
bud.
I'm
Good job.
showing that we should have enough to make it, which is weird. Based
Trying to
on
get
my
you to
data
lead
from
there.
when I did all the drafting and stuff.
Nah, we would have had it. I don't know. It's all good though. I don't know if I messed up there or what.
Austin, can you guys
Is
make
what
it
it
on
is.
fuel?
I think I got off your bumper to your missile line.
From what I saw, there was nobody taking an unnecessary risk or a chance. That wreck would be racing incident. Just, I'm not doing the replay, but
You are currently 3 spots.
Um,
with Dane still running out there, if that's how the format.
because Jake, your rear is stepping out, I'm going to put my money on 2 things. The splitter could be hitting and bouncing the rear end. That'll automatically send that end of the car up the track, the back,
By the way, is Austin the only one in here?
instantly and automatically. However, at Iowa, the spoiler in the back should be real short. And naturally, they're the full horsepower package, which, you know, that's everything except for plate tracks. It is a low downforce package with a spoiler in the back. So I think the combination of having too much power for the spoiler downforce and the diffuser hitting, a track like that's going to be touchy with the car. And especially because you know how iRacing is. You know, every little thing makes these cars wreck, which is why literally every oval streamer I watch, at some point in their stream, either the streamer or somebody in their chat is talking about jumping ship from the ovals. They're all sick of this shit. You know, especially the A car, but I think a lot of people have to not overlook the B car. The trucks are fun to race, but they're so underpowered that it's just a light switch. You just, you know, drop the pedal to the floor and just steer around the tracks. The trucks are boring for most people, but the B car has always been my favorite on the service.
When we go into our duel market.
Because, hang on a second, what you're gonna do now?
I'm gonna turn the clutch on when we go into the duel,
Okay.
and if we get a caution, I'm gonna be clutching it.
Oh yeah, to save fuel, because it is close, isn't it?
He's 4 laps to the good right now, and he's clutching it.
Oh, probably didn't need to if it gave him 4 laps.
To pick lower high.
That's what I'm saying. I'm showing that we're gonna finish with 9 gallons in the tank.
How could he be low on fuel if you're that good on fuel?
I don't know. I'm showing just from my data that I got from practice and obviously qualifying that with 18 gallons in the tank, which is what we start with, 18 and a half, 18.7 we'll say, round up. In a 20-lap race, you can run 41.24.
Are they giving you 18.7 gallons is the big question. I thought it was 70% fuel, which would be less.
Leader needs to pick
Yeah, it would be
lower high
less,
this
you're
time.
right. I don't know why then. I don't know why Caps isn't popping up the correct fuel ratio then.
Because you're here as a watcher, and so it's going to get that. It doesn't know that the fuel's limited for the actual drivers.
Blaze, you can pick top or bottom
Okay.
if that's called out.
So you know what, squirrel turds. I'm about to start racing on Assetto Corsa just because I want to learn road there and explore that game title, and I'll probably do both equally, possibly, between iRacing and Assetto Corsa, because I have no road experience and I just want to kind of
Should be able to do that.
learn the layout of the track. When I was a little kid, I used to have a map of the city I lived in,
No need to go up here and win.
and I'd memorize the roads right around my house, and I would ride my bike or my big wheel, and I would look at street signs and just learn my way around. Well, you have to do the same thing at road. I'll stream the whole process. Literally, my road racing career is going to be streamed from its birth date to its death date, because I'm a streamer now. So when I go to do
4
this,
laps to the good. Try to do what you can and manage
Oh,
a
we
gap
have
when
3.
you're in the draft.
and yeah,
And
Assetto Corsa Competizione is so much more fun, you'll see immediately. I am sure of it. Because I'm sure road on iRacing is going to be like oval on iRacing, where the cars just slide all over the place.
Might figure this stuff out.
It's, honestly, iRacing is in a quandary. And let me explain why. They haven't admitted this to me, but I just know from
you're
having
using,
watched
iRacing Black Box, I assume.
high I rating people on iRacing
Okay.
stream.
Yeah. Like I said, just manage.
And
the
they'll
gap.
go out there with, say, the
Don't let
87
anybody
car
in
on
front
such
of
and
you.
such a track.
Just try to manage your gap and bleed your throttle as much as you
And
can.
they'll talk all about, oh, this track is so much fun. This track is so much fun. You really got to wheel the car. They love that wheel the car stuff. That's fun. So when they make a car stick to the track, they get complaints from, you know, all the people that they actually listen to some extent, the coke drivers and people of similar skill. Keeping in mind that even though there's only 40 coke drivers, there's at least 400 people on iRacing, if not 4,000, that are as good or better than the coke drivers, right? They're just not in Road to Pro or had bad luck in Road to Pro, you name it. It's a little bit of a lottery to be one of that lucky 40. Those 40 drivers are not the best 40 drivers on the service. They are among the best 40 drivers on the service. There's probably 2 or 3 aliens. Oh, that guy just, yeah, wreck.
Easy. These guys are trying to wreck.
There's the caution. Yellow, yellow, yellow. The Mazdas are pieces of shit, though, dude. I did watch you. I saw you doing Mazdas. There's been other people that have been streaming those, and
Keep saving here.
I'm gonna start my road racing career in the GT3 class because the GT3s have traction control. They'll get you out of throttle trouble at times. They have anti-lock brakes, so they can get you out of certain braking situations. It's different skills,
Our guys in that wreck.
but just for learning road, it's actually Joe Peak that told me that that's the way to go. He actually initially told me, get in the Formula V and race around with that little 90-horse Volkswagen engine. And I told him, that's really boring for me. I want a car that sounds better. I want a car that looks like a car. He said, well, if you're compelled to learn road, do it in a GT3. Yeah, send me some footage on Discord. Maybe between this race and the next race, I'll show that. When is the onboard and then the splitter? Okay, that'll be cool. I know it's going to be a joke. iRacing is in a really bad place right now. iRacing is in such a bad place at the moment. And like I was saying, it's because they're catering to what I collectively call the 5K plus crowd. All the people that whine about how iRacing is no fun because of how easy it is, you know? And the next gen car sucks. It won't rotate, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's the group of people that complain about iRacing being too easy all the time. So iRacing is trying to be realistic and make the car slip and slide all over to make excitement for that group of people. To me, that alienates 92% of their audience, including me. Yeah, the Heim video. I could show that on stream too. That was dog shit, to be honest, Red Devil. To intent wreck at the end to see if you get lucky, to take a short track race and then, you know, try to cause a wreck at the end to see if you get lucky. That's dog shit. I'm going to come right out and say it. That's just terrible track behavior.
Turn your ignition off and restart the car every time you go.
They do it at plate tracks. Hang on. My volume is too low. I couldn't hear Johnathan.
You can also pull down on the apron and that'll help.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people do stuff like that at short tracks. Never while I was actually at a short track race. At Berlin Raceway, for example, that's a short track by my house. But a paved short track, they put dirt down once a year on, just like Bristol does. It's pretty freaking cool. I don't ever go.
Yeah,
I don't want, my eyes are real sensitive. I'm not getting dirt in my eyes. I can't go to dirt track races. It's way too dirty and dusty. We're going to go to a green, white, checker finished, and Wuxie is still P2. Christopher Bassinger.
Race gear and let's go.
He's such a good guy, man. Christopher Bassinger's awesome. I can't believe he's only a 3K. He'll work his way up. He's a lot of that's, I'm sure of it's getting wrecked out. He'll learn to avoid them better. He'll learn more about. He'll be in a split with fewer drivers and names to have to remember too. Once you get to 3K, you generally get in the top split, depending on the series you run. And you start to know who the weapons are on iRacing, and you know they're going to cause a wreck up there.
It's gonna
You
get
just
crazy.
forecast it
You
and
know
deal
what
with
to do
it.
here. You're in a good spot to make the main event here.
Intent wrecking to win 10K is one thing. I mean, if it's an accidental wreck, if it's just they're pushing too hard and a guy gets a little bit sideways and he drifts up into somebody,
Remember, you can only control what you
that would
control.
explain wrecking for 10K, but to intent wreck for 10K is, that's terrible behavior. In fact, I was race control when Lake Peterson dumped Garrett Maines for $5,000 in the Podium 500. I think that's how much money it was worth, or was it $1,000? I can't remember.
All right, second gear here. Get ready to go.
And we were still having a debate in race control about what to do about it. And broadcast came into our race control channel and said, hey, we got to have an answer. And the answer is we don't have an answer for you, so they had no choice but to stick with the scoring.
Sounds like a good idea.
The iRacing scoring, which gave, of course, Lake Peterson the win. Garrett Maines had been pushed back to second place in that event. So there's people wrecking for money is a real pisser to me.
Keep your eyes forward. You got nothing to worry about here.
And then everybody knows what happened after that in the Podium 500. I think they took a year off last year, but Podium 500's back.
You do have a run. Stick with them.
We're going to do it again. And, the race control that they had on duty that day was just fine. It was other factors
To the white here. Bring it home.
out of race control's hands that resulted in the, boondoggle that followed. Where they had that, I think you guys might remember, they had a quote-unquote town hall. The one thing you never want to do with iRacing people is have a town hall where everybody has or thinks they have an equal voice. The worst thing about it was all the little 15-year-old, 12-year-old mentalities that showed up. And some of these were college-aged and older men that showed up in that town hall and just absolutely act like middle school bastards, little brats. And they were making little snortling sounds and just the town hall was a disaster. You can't do that. These are not the kind of people you can do anything with other than rule with an iron fist. Unfortunately, iRacing doesn't, but league administrators, race controls, people like that kind of have to, step up to the plate. But if you've ever listened to their voice chats, if you ever listen to how they act and behave when they're on the track, they're only worse when they're off the track and in a Discord channel. And what turned out to be an overnight till 5 a.m. town hall meeting with those people, that was very ill-conceived. They should never have done that.
Let me see.
They should simply have said, here's the decision,
Made it.
done deal, we're in charge, we make the call, it's over with. You can't democratize decision-making on this level.
Right now, Marshall looks like he might be out.
There are streamers, respected streamers, high I-rating guys, that I mod for,
All right, Dalton, relax.
and they can fire me as their mod, but I'll tell them, that was your fault.
I'm relaxed.
I am an expert at determining fault in these accidents.
All right.
It's something I actually physically practice. I definitely have more practice than average. There's a handful of other people that do a lot of race control out there. But very few of them
I was trying.
are as experienced as people like Josh Mendoza or Brandon Davis.
No worries, man. I didn't need to win here.
And these are my mentors. And so, well, mostly Brandon Davis. Yeah, people like you school turds, it's not you, it's, and these people don't even have egos. There's other channels I've been to, and I've seen the streamer cause the wreck. And they'll even half admit it. And say things like, I'm not going to lift. I'm banned from chat from a streamer that is blocked. He can't raid me. There is a streamer out there, and I won't name and shame him, but he's banned me out of his chat on his stream, and all I said was, "You can't go on the inside like that past the turning point. You're obligated to back out. That's the other car's corner," and it's true. That's an iRacing's rule book. And I wasn't adversarial about it. I just said, "Here's what's up. Here's what it is," and he banned me from his chat. And, you know, he was hot under the collar at the time a little bit about it, but the wreck was his fault. It was all his fault. So, when you always have to leave that opportunity, anybody who wants to improve has to admit that they could be wrong as sure as they may be about themselves. You know, so saying you, quote, may be seeing things the wrong way, that right there are words to live by for everybody involved with racing. If you're the driver, you certainly did see things the wrong way. You know, you got to go to that replay. The replay tells the story. And I spent in excess of time studying the SCCA's rule book and iRacing's rule book, the Skip Barber Racing School textbook that I have a copy of and is published. Anybody can go buy a copy of it. It's not, you know, secret, esoteric, ancient Chinese secret. So let's go take a look at what Jake sent me. So congratulations to my friend Christopher Bassinger. He gets a P3.
I'm trying to leave my water bottle alone.
Now, you guys can hear him talking. That is actually
Alone, go.
Johnathan Canfield. He will be in the next heat, so he wants to get locked in. Let me ask him, Johnathan, is this the only other race tonight, or does this race will there be another one after this race?
So this will be the last duel for the night, and then the race itself is next week.
I see. So we're doing one duel tonight.
Yeah, just like how NASCAR does their duels like on a Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing ours a week in advance.
Now I understand why they didn't make these heat races in the iRacing setup. I thought that they were going to run 2 heats and then race tonight.
No,
So-
the race is next week. We're trying to lock in so we're in it for next week.
Well, let's see if we can get you there. A 20-lap race, correct?
20 laps. We should be starting somewhere around 20th. Or, no, maybe not 20th. I think I qualified into 20s. So we should be somewhere close to the transfer spot.
Which is P what?
P14, I believe, unless the guy who will start pole, which will be outside pole sitter, finishes in the top 14. Then it goes to 15. So,
Yeah.
really a top
How much
14 is what I'm setting my goal on.
how much time do we have?
Session's already up. I'm loading in. Sounds like they're interviewing the winner right now, and then once the broadcast is moved over, we'll get started. Probably about 10 minutes we get right now.
Okay, copy. So we got 10 minutes here.
Go ahead and put my music back on so I don't have to listen to this while I'm racing. But yeah, I think we're still okay on qualifying speed if we don't lock in on top 14 here, but I don't want to leave it up to that. Let me turn this down.
Oh, let me download these. So which did I get? Let me
Got
do
my
a show
background
all.
music going.
I got
Yeah, I don't wanna have to
4002,
worry about qualifying speed
3819,
to lock me in,
and
but
I need 3857.
we should be all right.
I wonder if the browser can play these. I can't wait to analyze these. So the first in the order would be 3819.
Who I got? Justin, Mike, and myself in this one.
Ah, that's not gonna work. MKV files. All right, I can still play these though. think when I go to run this, it's going to stop my music. Oh, it's asking me what to play these with. I want to play it with my VLC media player, so the music will stop while I play this. No, it won't. Good. What in the hell? Yeah, I'll show this on stream. Let me set up an OBS for it. Window capture. I'm going to create a new one called VLC Video Window Capture. This is the window I want. Oh yeah, it does this weird thing where it's black in the background. It won't capture windows playing videos.
All right, yeah, we're on a warm up of 10 minutes. 4 minutes into the clock right now.
Yeah, so unless I do a full screen capture, I can't show it.
Let me reactivate my force feedback.
Let's watch it
Make sure my
replay.
trading paints are loading.
I don't have audio with this either.
Here's they are.
So you go across the stripe. My God, you're only using 20% brake. Oh my God. Wow.
Mikey, you over here yet?
Are you in your session?
I am.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought there was going to be 10 minutes between them or something.
All right, it's you, me, and Justin in this one, I think.
Okay, there you are. Coming in as your spotter. So I can do your black boxes.
Hopefully we won't need them.
I can't... Why would the back end step? I mean, it's not on a turn exit where maybe you got too much into the throttle. Why did it spin? That makes absolutely no sense. Does anybody else, people in general, have they been spinning coming into turn one like that? Is it a hot spot for spin outs? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to drive it to see what's going on. Oh my God.
You are connected.
Maybe tonight... Yes, sir. Maybe tonight what I'll do is watch for Eric Royce to race it. That's kind of the thing to do. I think he's already been out there a little bit. I went to bed early last night, man. The night before, I'd done almost a 24-hour stream again. I streamed overnight and then until about 5 o'clock in the evening.
That was kind of funny. You danced low, I danced high.
I slept for about an hour, and I took a shower, ate, and then spotted Monday Night Racing. So on an hour's sleep, I did an hour's sleep in almost 48 hours. So I had to get up. I had to actually do work for work.
Riding behind a semi-truck.
Something that had to be done for a customer by 5, 6 a.m. Monday morning. So I stayed up after spotting Monday Night Racing, and that took a long time. I did get it done, and I crashed. I went to bed. I had a doctor's appointment this morning with my cardiologist, who basically discharged me from his care because there's nothing treatable. There's nothing bad. There was something going on at the time, which many of you have heard me explain the weirdness that I was experiencing with the heart. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just going to, like Squirrel Turds and I were talking about walking it off this morning in his stream when you're sick. When it comes to my heart, I don't just walk it off. I went to see a cardiologist, and he agreed there's an arrhythmia there, but did thorough testing to make sure there wasn't something hidden in there. And so I guess if a problem redevelops, I'll pick up the phone and call him back. But if AJ... and you probably mean AJR, Aharon Riolo. If he's having trouble with that entry, then it's, yeah, a problem.
Hey, just remember this race, try to use that mirror and spot my car.
I did notice when His House was driving, His House has it set up so you can hear the bottoming out of the car really, really loud on his stream. It makes a,
like I did last week.
I mean, it's a hell of a sound it makes off Eric's stream. I wish I could figure out how he got it so loud. But when I build a race pal setup, they do not bottom out. But you almost can't do that with the frickin' next gen, because if you don't get that diffuser 1 millimeter from the ground, it does nothing. It goes from 100% downforce to 0% and the back end flies. Because iRacing's shit physics model. Anyway, getting back to what I was actually saying earlier, I keep getting distracted by things in the race and stuff going on. Everybody's jumping ship. Motorsport Games does not have a good reputation right now, and people are still leaving iRacing in droves to go to Motorsport Games. IndyCar did it. That's why on iRacing you can't stream IndyCar races if it's the IndyCar at a track that IndyCar races at in this coming season. If you go to a track that IndyCar is not going to, like, Michigan or Irwindale or you name it, then you can, race the Dallara. You can race your Indy cars at those tracks, or what people have been jokingly called redacted car. You can't call it redacted car 500. You literally can't run Indy 500 on iRacing and stream it. If you do, iRacing will suspend your account, because iRacing doesn't have a license to race that car at those tracks, and neither do you. So do not race the IndyCar at a track that IndyCar is scheduled to race in the 2023 season. Any other track, you're okay.
Here we go, time to grid.
Okay, he's going up on the grid, folks. All right, we're with you.
All right.
So IndyCar left iRacing, and of course, famously, the Le Mans 24 Virtual, the E-Le Mans 24, they raced over at Motorsport Games.
These people are crazy.
And the servers died, very famously. They got DDoS'd. Probably the Russian programmers did it, that they haven't been paid. They're in a big controversy. The Russian programmers haven't been paid for their work.
Transfer here, Michael.
Okay, so P16 is as far back as the transfer goes, correct?
P15, and that's if the leader finishes in the top 15. All right, yeah. The leader finishes ahead of the top 14.
All right. That's Bridger Olson, right?
Yes, he
So
the leader.
Okay, I see. You're starting from 14th. iRacing had you scored. Well, your car's 16. That's what I'm confused about. I get it now.
Yeah.
You're in P14.
Yeah. This is the spot where I need to be in if Bridger doesn't finish in the top 14. If he's in the top 14, we just need 15th. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I could be wrong. I forgot to turn my clutch on. I'm an idiot. Damn.
You don't have a clutch anymore?
I forgot to turn it on.
Wait. What about your pedals? Don't you have a clutch pedal?
I do. I just forgot to turn it on.
You have your clutch pedal disabled?
Yeah, because if I turn it on, then I have to clutch to shift.
Or blip the throttle.
I haven't learned all that yet. It's all right. Mistakes I'm going to make throughout the season are the mistakes I'm going to make throughout the season.
Yep. I'll have to teach people that, because you, especially at a track that involves shifting, using auto clutch or auto shift costs you an enormous amount of time. You can really see who's doing it on a restart. Any restart, I can tell you this car, and this car are all using auto clutch. They just lose so much time on the restarts. So they're starting, you guys lean on fuel. Oh my God, 9.4 gallons.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take over for the computer here once you get your start. That way you can hear the green announcement on time.
All right.
And from this far back, it's not a matter of hit it. I'm assuming you can't pass before the start-finish line. Most leagues do.
No, I cannot.
That's what I thought. All right, on your inside, you're clear. Clear up and down. Checking up at the bottom.
stay out here then.
Yes, sir. Bottom's full. The 83 car ahead. Let me see if that's the right car number. Got somebody dipping out off onto the apron.
Have a great race, everyone.
Jesus, dude, why?
Oh my god. Keep full, get past it.
How bad?
Why'd he hit his brakes? Why did he hit his brakes? He literally...
Call him out.
Jackson Glenn Austin just laid on the brakes, dude. He just brake checked you.
What was that about?
He slowed down 5 miles an hour out of the blue.
Why I got brake checked on a straightaway.
I didn't brake check you. No, I wouldn't do that.
He did though, dude. He bled 5 miles an hour in an instant.
Derek Paulson was blinking on the bottom.
Yeah. The 6 was blinking. I didn't know where it was, and I checked up a little bit, but I didn't brake check you. So.
Guys, my engine's smoked. I'm rising on water.
Let me see what's going on with...
Back's pushed in, front's pushed in. You're beat up pretty good, but... Here's the thing to do. Are we caught up to the pace car yet? Let me come live.
It's all aero, Michael.
I know. And aero's important here. That's what I'm saying. This early in the race, what?
I can't get it to go back in
Bethany,
first.
watch for people getting penalties
Car's
for
not-
slow cars.
Car's not going back in first for some reason. I'm stuck in
Is your engine running?
There we go. I got it.
You just caused a
I don't
wreck
know what
behind
that
you.
was.
It's you not having to clutch pedal. Oh my god. You need to clutch it to get it into a lower gear or rev your engine. If you rev your engine, it'll go into a lower gear.
Passing because the 16 was stuck in neutral.
There we go. We're back.
Oh, never mind. We're good.
I don't know what that was.
Well-
yeah, it's all aero as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, if you're in neutral, you can't just push it into first gear. You have to rev the engine unless you have a clutch.
I've never had to do that before.
No, you do. You always have to do that. It won't just drop into first gear. It will with like Indy cars and there's certain conditions where you can downshift without the clutch
Yeah,
or
they
without the.
told me, admins, if you want to clear their black flags, I was having issues getting it out of neutral.
Let's go down pit road, and let's have you get repairs.
Okay.
And then what
Yeah,
I want you to
missed entry
do,
last time because I was
get out
messing
there.
around trying to get it on first.
Okay, yeah, go down pit road, get repairs, and get your clutch. You gotta have a clutch, and never disable clutch ever again. You gotta have the clutch. Even if you do auto clutch, have your clutch mapped so that you can at least do it if you have to. Like Squirrel Turd points out in chat, to shift you have to be at a certain RPM, and you might have had auto blip turned on, which will make it so it'll do that for you. But when I first learned iRacing,
That's ever happened to me.
I've-
I've neutraled plenty of times in a race, and it's never locked me out.
okay, here comes pit road. Let's go get repairs.
Again, who needs a
Pit
black
lane
cleared?
is closed currently.
Right there.
Is it? Yes, it is. Stay out.
We'll try next caution. We should be all right here.
Bridger's taking out the.
All right, let me tune back in my guys here. Yeah, Jackson caused that wreck, guys. I just want you to know.
He just literally checked up. He literally he did brake check you. I don't care. That's not from a
I'll
lift.
get hurt in that.
You don't lose that kind of speed by lifting.
Engine smoked.
His speed dropped like a rock. That's a brake. That's brakes.
What's regular water temp, Mike? Do you remember?
There is no regular water temp. That varies. But you don't want it to be much more than 290. In your case, with a little damage, I'd say 280.
290 is pushing it,
Mic check.
pretty much.
Now I got you.
Mic check.
Yeah, don't hug up underneath anyone's bumper.
Never speak again.
Mike, how bad were you?
What do you mean?
Not you.
Oh, driver Mike. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got stuck in neutral, so I didn't get to jump down to pit road there. But RPMs look good, so just gonna leave it out here and hope for the best we can get. All right, so starts on leader here, Michael. He took outside, I believe, so let me know.
All right,
Should be Bridger.
Okie doke. We're watching the leader. Zone now. Going.
Well, there goes my trust issues because I trusted Jackson and he brake checks me on a straightaway.
Jackson wrecks everywhere I see him race, dude. That's why he's a 2.1 safety rating. And I don't know how on God's green earth he's a 3.8K.
I think we're a little hurt here. Hopefully the draft can help us out. Push me, Rob. Push me. Yeah, we're a little hurt. We're not bad, though. Arrow's hurt.
They're checking up big time down below you. Yeah, good move.
Yeah.
Stay in the high side of your lane. 20's in there. He's going to try to help, but he's also not doing good lane keeping. He went to the bottom. You're alone out here.
Jawb, come out here. I can push. I don't think I'm good being a lead car, though.
Bottom's coming to us now. There at the bumper. Still there. One more coming through. Got a hole now if you want it.
Yeah, I need to get in behind these guys and see if I can actually suck up to the draft or not.
Hug the bottom aggressively. You're wobbling all over your lane. That gives them the option of going high if they want it because you're damaged. You know what I'm saying? But if you're wobbling and coming up and down off that line, that's...
Well, we're holding draft now, so we're good.
Yeah, oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, I was doing 187 entering the corner that time, so we're definitely holding draft. We just got to get back up in it.
An important lesson for any driver at your level is to understand that 2/3 of the time you're going to be involved in adversity.
Yeah.
Probably more. But
We're not far out of this right now. We're in 18th.
so
We're still
most
in a good spot.
2/3 of the time, the skill of racing has nothing to do with being fast or any of that. It's dealing with the adversity. Because 2/3 of the time you're going to have shit to deal with.
I've dealt with adversity my whole career, so I ain't worried about it.
Yep, you'll fit right in. Again, I want you to hold the bottom. You're kind of halfway up your line. Just stay right down there on the low side and hug these corners. It's not like iRacing Super Speedway where you have to arc it in. Daytona, you can just stay right down.
All right, they're 2x2 in front of me. I'm going to stay back here with Mike.
Mm-hmm. Nice, safe spot for you. Now, as far as pit boxes go, I have it so it's only going to give you fuel. It's not going to spend time giving you tires because I don't want any extra time spent doing anything but getting you repairs.
Yeah, once we get repairs, I think we're really good.
Yeah, I'm going to guess if I had to throw a dart, you probably have 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's nothing on a track like this.
Yeah, that hit wasn't that hard, but you do need to fix it.
I somehow kept it straight, which was a miracle.
Yeah, you dealt with that part of the crisis pretty good. Stay low there. The outside's kind of with you, and he's a wobbler, so stay as low as you can. So if he does hit you, it's not about you coming off the bottom. And you're going to find you have to work the wheel on track exit. On corner exit, it'll variously want to dip you down below the line or throw you up a lane. It just depends on where the turbulence is from the cars around you. So
Yeah.
just concentrate not on the car in front of you, but on the track and where you're supposed to be, because you don't really need to help that car in front of you with push. He's plenty close ahead to get the suck.
You're good now. If it gets worse, I'll let you know.
I am going to look at the track a minute. Yeah, we have wind. Southeast at 9. So that's why at certain points of the track you see the whole group of cars shuffle. That's because they're getting wind. You're going to have to fight that with the wheel.
Okay. Repeat that, Mike.
You are clear?
Yeah, we got... We got our work cut. Yeah, I'm right here with you. I can suck up. It takes a minute, but I'm able to keep up with the draft. That's the good news.
There's definitely he's getting. I think he's modulating his throttle. Let me look and see. I can actually see his throttle. Yeah, he is.
Kind of what I'm hoping for. 'Cause I
He's
feel like
not going to have any
everybody
trouble keeping
pairs
up with it.
right
He's
now.
actually lifting a little bit. He's gone to the back of the pack here, so he doesn't get held. You know, he doesn't hold anybody up. He doesn't want to get hit again. And in that, his nerves are rattled right now.
Are you content with running the bottom here, Mike?
You can kind of hear it in his voice. As a spotter, I like to kind of tune into how my driver feels and what they're going through and try to calm them down. I have to compete with his team.
We'll just hang out.
He's one of those drivers that's on a channel. He's on at 10 or something like that. There's some channel that they use on their radio. I'm not on it because frankly, I don't need to be. Actually, he's got enough fuel to finish, so I'm going to turn his fuel off.
Blinking really bad, Justin. Really bad.
When I race with people, one of my pet peeves is a driver. I'll be talking to them, and all of a sudden they just key up, and I see them talking. I'm trying to talk to them, and they're sitting there yucking it up with people on the track. Oh, yeah, you know, my dog chased a bone today, or whatever. It's like, no, you got a spotter. I'm giving you my time and attention. We're a team. It's us that talks, you know. I'm doubling as a crew chief. But this race right here isn't, you know, that paradigm. Hang on a minute. Okay, they're wrecking. Back it up, back it up. Hard brakes, hard brakes. Come up high, come up high. All the way to the wall. It cleans up to the bottom.
Up.
Stay high, stay high, stay high.
There we go.
Okay, now you're all clear of them. Pit road is closed. Catch up to the pace car quick as you can. The quicker you do, the more time you have on pit road.
Thorpe was in that one.
But yeah, it's tough to compete with the team. I know Gary Sexton on Monday Night Racing.
Good amount of the field right there.
I actually let his computer spot him unless it's a real situation he needs a human spotter for, and I'll take over, which I can do with the stop-start. I'll actually stop spotting right now because he's about to go down pit road, and that will enable the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you know, the countdown.
I told you we needed a break. There's the break we needed.
Yeah, that's a fact. And also, you have ample fuel to finish, so we'll skip fuel. We'll skip everything. You're going down pit road for repairs.
Okay. Well, if we're taking repairs, might as well just take the fuel anyway. It'll do the repairs and the fuel in one time.
No, it actually gives you...
Go GWC.
Yeah, I guess you could. We could fill it up. It's only
Might
5.
as well. No point in even playing that game if we're gonna go sit there and take repairs.
34. Car by. He had the position when the yellow flag came out.
Mike, surprisingly, car looks clean.
Catch the 80.
Yeah, the repairs are slowed a little while fueling, but not bad enough to worry about it. Not at a 2.5 mile track, so yeah, it doesn't matter here. If this were Martinsville, I'd tell you no. Yes, you'll hear the countdown.
3,
There it is.
2, 1. Right here.
Oh, I'm probably gonna get penalized for that. I couldn't see it.
Won't matter. You're leaving pit road last either way, you know.
Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds of optional. Again, you don't have to tell me. Your my overlay, well, that telemetry comes over too.
And luckily, we didn't hurt the engine, so we don't have to worry about temps. This is all fixed. A little bit of aero issues.
Dustin Franklin, check you out, man. The man in a house. That is your nickname. Dustin Franklin is now known as the man with a house.
Because there's no fast repairs tonight.
Thank you for resubbing, man. I appreciate that. You've subbed pretty much the whole time I've been a streamer, and that's amazing. Very thankful for you. Before I was a streamer, Dustin Franklin was also
Sitting on pit road.
the first person number 1, to click the donate button on the racepal.live website and donate money. Dustin
Yeah, I
was
had 30
the
seconds
first
of optional,
person. My
but
website
for
wasn't
the
1 day
end, so it
old,
all
and
air
Dustin was
50
there
there,
giving
so we're good. We're
to the
back in, boys.
racepal.live cause. So I appreciate that. You're a real champ.
All right, Jared Wilson.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm glad you appreciate it. There's a lot of people that appreciate it that
Too many pit stalls.
can't afford to donate.
Yeah, they were watching.
And what I do is as much for them as anybody. But I definitely
I don't
appreciate
think I cut through too many.
people
I
like
only cut
you.
through 2.
When you have the means and the opportunity, you show support. And that's fabulous. Appreciate it.
4. Car.
Squirrel Turds is dead right. I'm glad you like my new
Right
emote
behind you on
selection.
this restart.
I wish I could do more because there's a lot of free emotes out there that I like. Those are in the free category, of course. The spinning cat is too awesome. So if you got the rig put together, why are you waiting till tomorrow to test it? If I put my rig together, dude, I mean, this thing hadn't even been painted yet. Well, the paint wasn't even dry. Every wheel I have, because the paint never dried, has got paint on the bottom where it mounts to the desk because it peels a little bit off. Indeed, we are going to go green this time by. There'll be 5 to go with the stripe, 5 to go on the green.
How many spots we got to make up here?
Dude, literally, it's not going to matter, and you'll see why in a minute. It's all about getting past that wreck. You know how they're going to wreck up? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be in 30th position right now and get a podium. It's just... It's plate track racing, dude. Breathe easy and just hope it isn't you. And remember what you learned in that last caution. Those cars are going to wreck at the wall. And if you point at them, they'll be gone by the time you get there. Don't panic and go low. They're going to come down in you and wreck you. More often than if you just go to the wall. Unless, of course, you see them stuck there. But because iRacing, sometimes they'll stick in that safer barrier. Let's dig in, man. Drive through the smoke. Aim at that damn smoke. The car will be gone by the time you get there.
Let's do it. Time to lock in.
Watching leaders, they're off already. Let's hit it. And believe me, with 5 to go, dude, time is on your side. And these guys are not... We got a big run. Did he jump the start? That is way too big of a run to make any sense. Did you see that guy come up on you?
Will, that's the league owner. He must have been in fixing damage. I didn't think he was going to be here. He told me he wasn't even going to make Daytona.
That's
Yeah,
actually...
William Martin. That's the owner of the league.
That's protestable to jump the start like that. But it doesn't matter. His car is a modified.
Yeah.
Yeah. His car is... He's missing his whole front
You know they're
clip.
gonna wreck again.
Yeah, the early moves I saw people making that restart tells me that these drivers think that those moves are going to make a difference.
1 spot, 2 spots out. It's Bridgers.
And if you think any moves you make with 5 to go at a plate track is going to make a difference, that tells me you're very inexperienced at this and you're going to cause a wreck. Usually in the last lap. So I'm just reading the tea leaves here, man.
Is Bridger still up there, or did he wreck out? Oh no, I see him. He's in the top 7. Yeah.
He's P8.
So, I need 1 more spot here to lock in.
Just be
Which is fine
patient.
with me, cause I can get on the last lap. Okay, blinker.
Literally, yeah, that's a spot right there for that matter. You know. And don't worry about the blinker. Just ignore him. If he spawns on top of you, he'll be a ghost car initially, like a pace car. So don't worry about it. Just, go catch up with the pack. We'll probably get upload packet loss here in a minute. He'll be gone.
I'm just trying to be patient here and wait for
3 wide for
that to
4th.
happen.
3 wide for 4th.
You guys got chill.
They're forming a 3rd line. That's good for you.
Yeah, I'm staying on this bottom line. I'm committed.
The next pack of all the modifieds are 3 seconds back, so you have a lot of headroom here for slamming brakes.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly what I need.
Well, just
We're gonna survive.
Yeah, with Bridger up there, I got you scored in P15.
I got Michael and Mayer. You're all good. Just let either Justin or Mike know how their situation is.
Who, me?
No, Austin was gonna call for me, and I said I already got you, so I'll have him keep.
3 wide, the contact ahead. Contact with the leaders. We got a lap car on the apron. Leaders are next to that lap car now. You're going to see him here in all clear.
Oh.
Yep, contact ahead.
It's boiling.
This is when they're going to do the dumb shit. The white
Yeah,
flag.
but here's the thing I'm gonna say. My teammate just found his way to the front. The 74. I see him up there. He just found his way to the front.
Uh-huh. And you're at the cutoff. There's no reason for you to do anything. From what I understand, since Bridger's back here too. Bridger decided he's not
I would
gonna,
love it if Bridger gave me a spot here.
because he's locked in.
Well, then I'm for sure locked in.
All right. We are under white flag. It'll be the checkered flag this time, and there is a lap car we're going to encounter possibly at the stripe. You could try a slingshot on Bridger, but they're wrecking. The leaders are wrecking. Leaders are wrecking. Back it up. Back it up. Wall, wall, wall. Like I taught you. Go dig, 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 dig. Too late.
Damn it, dude.
You slowed down. You should have dug for the wall, but just keep going. You're past those two. Now those two got
And I
you.
lost spots. Damn it, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you don't listen to
Why
me.
can't he hold the fucking brake right there? I know he's a teammate, but damn it.
I'm the best player.
He just absolutely cost you your spot in the final race. So be sure to thank your teammate.
Justin, I just gotta know, dude. Were you on the brake right there?
No, he wasn't on the brake. He's asking if he's on the brake, and the answer is no. I could tell because his car rolled up the track. It didn't skid up the track, it rolled up the track.
Brother, I love you, but that was my spot in.
And when the wreck happened, watch what this guy does. And this is his teammate. I'm telling him right here, I'm telling him, dig, dig, dig for the wall. He's doing 108 miles an hour, and he still slowed it down to under. See right there? Still slowing it down. This is the difference between a 1.5K and a 2.5K driver,
That's my
folks.
spot in if I just got by you.
If I tell you dig, that's what the fuck you do. I don't tell you dig because I want to see you go fast. But he's inexperienced at this. And just no locked brakes, he just rolled up the track, wheels still turning all the while.
Dude, I know it wasn't intentional.
Just look at this guy's
The
wheels.
spot right there, that was it. I was clearing the wreck, and then you rolled back up the track.
This guy was the wreck to begin with. Actually, he wasn't. The 29 dumped him.
Damn. Now we got
Luke Knupp.
flying speed.
Luke Knupp, Luke Knupp. A 1.1 driver with a 3K. Whenever you see a safety rating like that, it's just inexplicable. He just flat turned him and said, bye, leaders, I'm going to go win this. Except he took that extra hit at the end. So Justin Burnham, he goes careening back into the pack. Still no brakes, no smoke whatsoever, just rolling. Tires in full motion all the way up that track, man. That's
Dude, if he
honestly,
holds the brake right there and locks it down, that's my spot.
that's absolutely shameful, you
It
guys.
doesn't matter that the second pack is coming. That's my spot.
Shame on you. Even though Justin Burnham is his teammate, shame on you. By now, he's lost control. He's spinning. Right here, he should be locking the brakes. Look at the blur.
Sucks.
Wheel spinning backwards. He gets turned around. Wheel spinning backwards again. Now they're spinning
Yeah, it's
forwards.
that 14 that locked in too.
Never even touched his brakes. Just up and down the track wherever the car decides to go.
14.
Never once did he touch his brakes. He's still, even after getting hammered, he's still not on the brakes.
What a terrible way to end the race. Your own teammate, dude.
He never touched his brakes, dude. When his car's pointing one
He
way,
admitted to it. He admitted to it, and it just sucks.
this
I gotta
is
wait and see if we
attitude. When a driver does this, it's called attitude. Let me reload the track so my cameras are fixed.
But
What actually happened here
And I'm gonna hop up into team chat
is
real quick.
he's making his run.
I appreciate
Right now in his mind,
you doing this. You're
it's
welcome.
I am entitled to win.
Chat.
Repeat after me. I am entitled to win.
But I appreciate you. again.
Okay? Watch what he
our
does.
own doing there. It was just he rolled.
In his mind right now, he's got this run, and it's an entitlement mentality. I am entitled to win. Okay, think about that. So he continues. He gets a little bump draft here, which makes his run even better.
Michael, you copy that?
Hang on, what was that?
I said I'm gonna go up into Jawb Discord team chat and general chat and just
Hey.
wait around.
Okay, not a problem. Let me know if you need me.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll be in it next week. We're just banking on qualifying speed now.
Yeah, good luck.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll let you catch up with him, man. Catch up with me later in the channel. I'll be playing DMZ by then, probably. So,
Okay. Yeah.
sorry it worked out that way, man. Not fair to you at all what happened. Not at all.
Nothing of our own doing there was what cost us that. I gotta get my shit together with my team.
With one exception, I told you to dig at the wall, and you hit your brakes a second time after that. You kept slowing down. You have to dig. You have to get past it.
I didn't hear that at all. I
Yeah.
was tunnel vision at that moment, and I was just trying to.
Gotta remain present with the moment, man.
For the seas to get clear.
Yep, but I'm just kind of pointing that out because it's constructive criticism. You have to learn to tune out the race and tune me in. You know, you gotta relax. You know, if you're still to the point where you're brown staining your underwear when you see a wreck in front of you, you're not ready for the next step, and that is the next step at this level. It's dealing with the adversity. That's the part. You know, don't worry about what move do you make. Don't worry about the speed. Don't worry about qualifying and lap times and hot lapping. It's calm. You have to be cool under fire. You just have to. You're not going to think straight. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to be cool about things and just let it. Look, have you ever seen Eric Royce wreck? His facial expression never changes. The car's sitting there spinning, he's flipping and turning. That's just my advice to you and anybody else: is just get to a point where you've seen so many wrecks it just doesn't even shake you anymore. Yopa J's a good example of that. You're all familiar with him, right? When Yopa wrecks, his car's sitting there getting hit from behind, hit from the side, it's spinning, and he's just shaking his head. He's already I'm disgusted with this stage, and the accident isn't even over yet. That's where you need to be. You need to get to that point, and then you will start to make better better reactions to things. But it'll come to you, man. Just trust me on this. But use this as a learning experience. Go talk to your boys. We'll catch you.
All right. See you later, Michael.
Yep. Take care. So, this is all mindset, folks. He goes from I'm entitled to I just got wrecked out. He knows right now he just got wrecked out. He knows he's not going to win. And there's, to borrow a military term, it's scorched earth. Now you destroy everything, you leave it behind. But every inch of soil you march your troops across in scorched earth policy, you burn down every building you see. It's literally, his mindset now is, now, since I didn't win, they don't deserve to win either. This is scorched earth mentality in racing. It's very immature. And it's also very retaliatory against innocent people. This is a retaliation against innocent racers when you know, everybody knows you hold the brake when you spin. Nobody doesn't know that by now. All right? This is scorched earth, and it pisses me off. Watch what he does. This is such a shame. Why you don't see any smoke? This guy hits and that guy says, fuck you, I'm going up the track, still no brakes. Fuck you, I'm coming back down the track, still no brakes. Now I'm going back up the track. Just... So the car didn't spin that much from that second hit. He was going back up to take out that next group of 3 cars. It's all mentality. It's all, I'm entitled, so I'm going to have a scorched earth mentality, and I'm going to retaliate against everybody I can and say, hey, I didn't steer into you. I was wrecked. The car just did what it did. No, it did what it did because you didn't stand on the brakes. So I'm now going to teach you what I've learned. There's a little phrase, a little limerick. You can teach it to a kindergartner, but we're all grown people here, mostly. If you spin, put 2 in. Okay? Straight out of the Skip Barber Racing School textbook. When you sign up for the Skip Barber Racing School and you go and you learn from the pros how to race, they teach you, if you spin, put 2 in. The 2 that they're talking about are the clutch and the brake. Because when you're done spinning, if you don't have your clutch in, your engine's going to stall. Of course, on iRacing, the vast majority of people have You see my driving aids? Look at this, folks. This is how I've always raced. Since day one, I have always raced this way. And the reason why is I don't want to have to relearn how to drive a freaking car. I already did that once. All right? Turn off your damn driving aids. Every one of you, right now. If you're not going to race tonight, go into your sim, turn these off and exit. You do not want shift aids. You don't want auto engine start. You want all this shit turned off. Every last little bit of it. Now, having said that, I do notice that there's auto blip and auto clutch. I forget which one of the two, but when they race road, even Casey Kirwan, you can see he never works his clutch, but you see the clutch blip. Anti-stall is also okay-ish. These are all going to cost you time, especially on restarts. They're all going to cost you time on pit road. They're all going to cost you time. But that's probably acceptable at a certain level. But I don't want to relearn, so I have all that stuff turned off. So this actually killed him. That's why he couldn't get the car out of neutral. He didn't have his auto clutch turned on. Or maybe anti-stall. Maybe that's what he uses. Either will work. They all do slightly different things. And, you know, if you're ready for the next level... I was not ready for the next level, and I still turned off all the driving aids, because I know how I am with... yeah, anti-stall will clutch the engine if you just hit the brake to stop. If you just get on your brake, anti-stall will keep you from killing the engine, you know, if you pull over and stop. I think it's kind of a watered-down version of auto clutch, honestly. Yeah, but I'm just telling you, folks, if you spin, put 2 in. Especially once you know the car's going to be unsavable. Just hit your clutch, hit your brake. You know, it takes about 150 pounds of pressure for me to get my brake pedal all the way down, so I'm really hauling back on my seat and my rig. I'm doing it right now. You can see this telemetry up here. You know, if you know you're gonna... If you're losing it in the next-gen car, here's what you do. Half brake, half throttle. See that red line and that green line? If you do this with the next-gen car, it works with all the cars to some extent, but it really works with the next-gen car. I don't care what attitude that next-gen car is in, it just points down the track and drops itself into a slot. Then you lift about like this, you know, probably a little bit of throttle. You'll have to figure out where, but you don't want enough throttle where you're pushing forward. You don't want so little throttle that you're engine braking. Those tires are overheated, and you need to just kind of carry a little throttle, you know, so that the tires are roll neutral. No engine braking, no forward thrust. That's the best way to save a car. In fact, there's a lot of times, a lot of people have even noticed it when I'm doing the setup builds or when I'm doing the AI racing to test a setup. I always go into a corner a little bit like this. And that's a very good way to go into the corner. It's not enough. If you need to slow down, then you do this. But you don't slow down with the engine braking. You always use a little bit of brake if you need to slow down. A little bit of throttle to keep the back wheels out of it. That's the best way to keep yourself from, you know, spinning. This is especially useful with a B car if you're at a track that's eating up the right rear. This on exit, full throttle on exit, demolishes, annihilates the right rear. That's the worst. But also on your entry, using your rear for engine braking is also going to annihilate the right rear. So you carry a little throttle, and if you need to slow down more, you just give the brake little touches. That gets the front into it. Scratchy Bacon, howdy, my man. Yeah, we were hanging out earlier, Scratchy Bacon and I, watching Jerry Parker, who's Mid-Atlantic Motorsports. He's racing road. He's tearing a page out of Squirrel Turd's playground. I'm telling you, people are jumping ship from ovals left and right. They're just in such a bad place right now that people are just like, what's the point of this? All the netcode racks and just stuff. You almost can't even race ovals anymore. I mean, you really got to love oval to want to race it at this point, as bad as it's gotten on iRacing. Would having more forward brake bias do the same thing? Yes, it would. That does relieve engine braking, that does relieve braking from the rear. But if I were to drive right now, and you know I'm coming down the straight, and then I'm going to slow down for turn entry and drop the throttle. If you have 0 throttle, your engine is going to be applying engine braking to the rear. There's actually a word for that. It's called TTO, or trailing throttle oversteer. On road, it decimates your rear tires. It decimates your rear tires to trail all the way off the throttle in a turn. You know, on road, you basically want to go full throttle, off the throttle completely while you're still straight, and then there's threshold braking, what they call straight line braking, until turn entry. In the old school way of road racing, they would, before they turn into the corner, have all their speed bled off pretty much, and then they would turn it through the corner and maybe feather the throttle a little bit to take the trailing throttle out of it. Otherwise, if you trail off all the throttle, you're getting braking back there. It's interesting to watch road racers or people racing the NASCARs on road. They're always complaining, oh, my rears are gone, my rears are gone. Well, yeah, because you're trail braking. You know, you're still turning with a little bit of brake in, trying to keep some speed through the turn, which is what you do on ovals, of course. But, you know, on road, you want to do all your braking straight. You know, full throttle. There's a full throttle section of the straight. Then you get to the braking point, and then it's threshold braking to do your straight line braking. And then you can trail off the brake as you turn in. It's a coordinated move about like that. As you're turning in, you got to lift off the brake. Otherwise, there's just not enough traction for the front. If you're doing full braking and then try to turn, the front's fully committed to stopping the car. You have no available traction for the turn part of it. And you guys have probably all felt this before, where, you know, when you're turning into the corner, you have to let off a little bit of the braking, and then, you know, that lets the front grip up. So, to answer Robin's question, yes, you can accommodate this with more forward brake bias. Now, in the garage, you don't really have any option but to pick a front bias of 70 or 60 or 50 or whatever, because they only give you 4 degrees forward or 4 degrees aft when you turn the knob on the dash in a rail race car. But here you probably have button switches. Most people have a button switch for it. And you can bring your brake bias back from what I call the garage setting by no more than 4 degrees. So that brake bias, that 4 degrees of brake, or not degrees, but 4% of brake bias probably isn't enough. And that's why you kind of have infinite when it comes to the next gen. You can go forward or back a long ways, but what most people do, they don't know how to handle the master cylinders. So the setups are always tight on iRacing, so people always use 44%, which is as far back as they can go. But you have to understand something. You can change your master cylinders. I wrote an article on racepal.live. I believe this command will bring up the link. Oh, it's probably website. If you go to the guide on my website, there is a chapter. Go to that website, click guide, and go to the chapter on master cylinders and brake bias. It's kind of a long study, but I also paraphrased a lot. It's not everything I know about it, but it will. The takeaway from, if you just read it and just forget all the technicalese, just read it to see what it says basically strategically, you can literally turn a fixed setup into an open setup, because in fixed setup you're allowed to change master cylinders. It is huge. That cannot be overstated. But you have an invite to Building 21. It'll be a while before Jerry's finished Racing League. Mike was saying we use key cards tonight or lose them. I beg your pardon? I'm going to play DMZ tonight. I'd be happy to go. I have 2 Building 21 key cards, too, in my inventory. You're telling me they're going to take them out of the stash and erase those tonight, Scratchy Bacon, just to be clear? But anyway, folks, yeah, this is when I get really energetic and excited about racing, as we start getting into this technical stuff, because this is the stuff I understand, and I want to teach other people. I don't want to buy a man a fish. I want to teach you how to fish. Yeah, so you have 2, I have 2. That's 4 trips into the DMZ. Google search that, Scratchy Bacon, if you don't mind. I mean, I'll be able to do it in a minute, but if you want to get a head start, Google search that. Building 21 key card reset, maybe. See if it's actually true. Holy cow, can you imagine that? But I am so... I'm telling you, brake bias is a make it or break it thing when it comes to iRacing. As a matter of fact, when I see a driver I'm spotting in an open race, NIS for example, I see trouble that they're having on pit road. Can I do the black box for it? No, I can't. I can actually see their brake bias. And I'll tell them, hey, you're about to pit. Move your brake bias back forward. I try to remember to remind them of that. I assume they know, but I really shouldn't. Pocono. When I race at Pocono, I use a different brake bias. And back in the Gen 6 days, I've never raced Pocono in the next gen. But I like that track so much, I might actually do that. Come out of retirement on Pocono week. I always talk about coming out of retirement, but then, you know, my streaming activities, my working on the overlay, my work that pays my, you know, keeps a roof over my head. I just don't ever end up going back into racing. So racing takes a lot of time. After I build the setup, I didn't even want to go race it. I get so disgusted. I just get wrecked out like anybody else, you know, and I hate that. But anywho, having access to brake master cylinder, most people just assume you can't change that. They beeline for that brake bias habitually. If you learn how master cylinders work, I all but promise you, fixed setup racing is now open setup racing. It has that much of an effect on which tire gets the heat. It has that much of an effect. I guarantee you, you can be 88%, 88%, or 87%, 88%, or 92%, 93%. I guarantee you that if you learn how to drive the car and you learn how to work your brake bias with the next gen car, you can take virtually any setup, tight as balls, wreck and loose. You can make it so that you're wearing those tires 50-50, equally between the right front and the right rear. And long run, that's going to maximize your effort. Most racers, I can't remember who it was the other day. I was definitely watching Eric Royce's stream, and Eric commented on his stream. He said, so-and-so is just going balls deep up there. And this is at Atlanta. And that track just chews tires, man. It chews them right off, right down to the bead. So, and I was thinking, as I'm watching, I'm half asleep, I'm in bed, I've got 2 active typing in chat. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to right now. The race is almost over. I think there was a caution. Maybe there was 10 to go or something. There's no point saving tires. Maybe if you missed the last minute, Robin, everything I just said is in my guide. My RacePal.live has no paywall whatsoever. You go to the website, you click guide, click master cylinder and brake bias, and study that. It will change your racing life forever, especially if you're a fixed racer, but it's equally important, if not more so, in open racing to understand how your car works. This is only my second or third time spotting for Johnathan Canfield, JMC 989. And I realize now, I'm looking at his score here. He's a 1.5K, which means I should probably go easier on him. And not assume that he knows as much as other drivers that I spot. You know, about the setups and about having the clutch and knowing how to use it. Yeah, come get your nightly lurk, Chief. I appreciate the nightly lurk. I always love looking in there and just seeing Chiefs there, because I know that you're like me. When I lurk, sometimes I'm sitting down and I'm watching, and other times I've gotten up to go do something around the house. I'm free to do all that when I'm not streaming. If I do it now, people will be like, hey, it's a chair stream. That's exciting. So Johnathan had bad luck tonight. He had really, really bad luck. And if Chief's just kind of checking in, I'll show him what happened to him. This is Justin Burnham, a teammate of his. And this is the last lap of the race. And he's getting a push. He's thinking, I'm going to win this race. I appreciate you guys doing that, because that ups my viewer count too, which really, really helps. So Justin Burnham finds himself in a situation here where he's fixing to win the race, but mistakes were made, and that guy right there just turned him, you know, and so that sucks for Justin. But I want to show you. I want to comment on this too. I can tell you exactly why he got turned. Drivers at this skill level, look at, he's going up the track. And that leaves your pusher on your inside. Of course, that's not the 29's fault. The 29 should have, if it weren't a white flag, the 29 started seeing dollar signs. So he straight dumped this guy. Me, when I'm in that position, I give the brake a little tap. I save him. I don't care what position I finish in. I'm not turning the guy in front of me. I'm just not going to be like, I'm not lifting. I don't play that game. I might not lift, but I will hit the brake. I will not dump the car in front of me unless they're so loose and sideways. I'm just not going to avoid them. But honestly, I do the same thing in real traffic. It translates to iRacing. If the car in front of you is about to get hit, what do you do when you're coming down the street? You hit the brake pedal. Oh, that was hard. I don't get these people. I can't wrap my mind around it. But in any case, bam, right there he gets turned. And the whole reason for it is he allowed himself to drift up the track. Do not let your car drift up the track. Use 4-to-1 steering ratio if you have to, but don't drift on the track. Hold your line. There are times that I got the wheel friggin' 180 for a split second, you know, on racetracks. You do what you have to do to keep it in that line when the way grossly overmodeled aero shifts your position on the track, because that's usually what does that. This poor guy, this Justin Burnham, man, he's about to win this frickin' race and he just gets dumped. Racing deal. I'm not saying maliciousness near, because it truly is a racing deal. He drifted up the track. You know you're going to get turned. Go look at any of your wrecks in your history. But look at his wheels. I don't know if you guys can see the detail or not, but he doesn't have his brakes on. The wheels are freewheeling. He just goes up and track. That's his teammate. He literally just came up the track and cleaned out his teammate after cleaning out this 23. No brakes whatsoever. At no point in this wreck did he reach for the brake pedal. And right there is where he took out Johnathan. Now, Johnathan, the mistake he made, and he told me after the race that when I told him, dig, get back on the throttle, because I knew he needed to push past the wreck, I knew this guy wasn't going to get on his brakes. I could see it for the past 4 or 5 seconds of the wreck. This guy had no intention of stopping, so I told him to dig high. With this wreck down here, this up high lane looked good, but if you watch Jonathan's speed, he hits the brakes again, and he slowed down 3-4 miles an hour instead of speeding up 5-6. He would have been past this. He'd have been up here by the Daytona sign when this tomfoolery happens, and he would have been okay. And the tragedy of it is, he was in the cutoff position at this moment in time. He was P15. And Jonathan's problem is, and I mentioned this earlier in my stream, when you're working with a spotter, you got to tune out the rest of the team. But if you listen, and I had him set up where you could hear him on the Discord, I mean, they were doing the team racing thing. Well, your team is your spotter. If you're a house divided and you're kind of new at this, that's a lot to process. You should tell his team, hey, look, message my spotter if you need something, or had me listening so he could concentrate on driving. He was very, very distracted, and I could see where it hurt him here. Right here, I'm telling him, dig. He needs to go what this car did, okay? Let's look at something here a minute. This car up here, Michael Thorpe is doing 136 miles an hour. He's going to get past all the bullshit. You know who's not going to get past it? The guy who's doing 136 miles an hour slower, and he slows down even more. He went up to 102 and then slowed down to 97, and then that's...
Are you here?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up, dude? What's new?
We got the last provisional.
You got the last provisional? Holy cow, how did that work out?
Enough guys made it on the provisional list where obviously names get bumped up into that list, and I am making it just barely. And I've got guys from JCTV that are rooting for me next week now because I got them on my car, obviously. But
my chat can hear you, by the way. This is we're looking at your wreck as we speak. Congratulations, dude.
We're starting 40th, complete dead last, but you know what? We made it. We're in it for $200.
It's at Daytona 40th. You know what you should do is the big middle finger. Take the RacePal.live start from the pits challenge. How many laps is it?
It's 250 miles. I know that.
Well over half of my races, not just at plate tracks. Almost every race I ever started, I started from the pits. Isn't that funny?
I don't know how many laps it is, but it's 100 laps. I just heard it on the stream.
100 laps, okay.
And it's the first points race of the season, and we made it. God, that was stressful just sitting there waiting. I got interviewed too. They pulled me up into the booth and talked to me about it. I'm like, dude, it sucks getting taken out by your own teammate.
Yeah, I was admonishing my stream, teaching a lesson to people, and just, even for your reference, this is something I got directly out of the Skip Barber Racing School textbook. If you spin, put 2 in. Just remember that.
Yeah.
If you spin, put 2 in, and the 2 they're talking about are clutch and brake. The minute you know your car's irrecoverable, you have to, you just go for the pedals. There's nothing else you can do, you know?
I'm looking forward to watching this race back now that I'll get to hear that I made it. Oh.
100 laps. K-Shep, how you doing? I haven't seen you around in a while, but K-Shep tells you to ride in the back, baby. And he says 100 laps is too long. But this is a $200 race. So the advertisers, the broadcasters, the league administrator, you know, the league management.
Yeah, we're getting into mainstream league racing time right now. So 250 miles, 200 miles, that's about what we're going to average unless it's like a road course or another super speedway like Talladega.
Right.
But this is season kickoff, so it's obviously we're going to do the 250 miles.
NIS does the exact same thing. On iRacing, the NIS Open and Fixed, both Open and Fixed, run full length for the Daytona 500. So it's pretty common to run full length or at least half rank. But K-Shep is like, too long to be in the back. You're right. You will not be in the back after 100 laps. On pit strategy alone, with a couple of teammates, and you have those, you're going to finish probably top 10.
Yeah, and we'll be able to coordinate that through the @10 channel.
Exactly. Now, I want to share my experience with you. My 13th official race on iRacing, keeping in mind that I time trialed all the way to A license. I didn't go through the ranks, I just time trialed all the way to A license so I could spot and crew chief for my friend Rob. So, in other words, I could do A license stuff. My very first race, I could do A license if I wanted, right? Because I time trialed all the way to A license.
Yeah.
My very first NAS race was the Daytona 500 in February of 2020. This was on the eve of COVID, don't forget. It was March 2020, right? When all the COVID stuff happened.
Yeah.
So it was a full-length NAS race. But also the B car was there too. I'm trying to remember how this worked out. I should go back and look at my stats. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I finished 6th place. And my 13th race on iRacing, my 13th official race on iRacing, I finished 6th place. And it was a Daytona 500. We started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we finished at 5:30 at night. So my 13th race ever on iRacing was a 3.5 hour race and I got P6. And I was 2 laps down.
Wow.
Twice in that race, I had one guy lose it on pit road. He literally flew by me on the right side and then spun himself right in front of me. I actually did get mostly out of the way, but from hitting him and the wall on the left side there, getting, wedged in, that did damage. And then there was another guy, I was passing him on the high side, and he got loose, and I didn't go up high enough to get around him. Right? And so his back end got me a little bit, put me in the wall, did more damage, and that guy was super sorry. He's like, "Oh man, Michael, I'm really sorry, man. That's all on me." I said, "Dude, I'm already such and such a laps down. I'm just on autopilot to the end of this race," which is true. I literally cruised around. At that point in time, I wasn't even laps down. I just wasn't with the main pack, but just, not being in a pack, being off pace because my car was damaged. The race finished out. I was actually with the lead pack when that race ended. As a 2-lap down car, I just stayed behind and let the other 5 cars work. I was P6, 2 laps down. And that's how the longer races are going to work here. There will probably only be 3 or 4 cars on the lead lap. So if you just think in your head, let's stay away from the crap. Let's just take a little pack of 3 guys and drive somewhere on the track away from all the business. you're probably going to get a top 10 finish, Jonathan. 100 laps is 250 miles. That's half of a full-length race.
Yeah.
That's right in my wheelhouse, too, as a spotter crew chief, too. And if, oh boy, there are going to be a lot of, you better get your pit stops down. You better just go drive pit stops. Do you know how to save yourself? What do they call that? I'm out of iRacing right now, but there's a way you can take a snapshot of where you are and jump back to it.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like bookmarking where you are on the track. You can literally burn yourself down till you got 2 gallons left. And on hot tires, empty tank of gas, learn what your car is going to do on pit road. Then when, you know, take them hot as you want, slow as you want, whatever, and then just hit your button to go back to the backstretch and come back around and practice another pit stop. Because 100 laps, you're going to end up doing quite a few pit stops, and you do not want to make mistakes on them. I can't tell how many races David Stryker can testify, you know, where I'm watching him on those money races, and he screwed up a lot of pit stops, you know. There's nothing else to practice at a plate track because it's such kindergarten brain dead racing. There's nothing else to practice at a plate track. Auto reset. Squirrel Turds is helping me out here. I haven't experimented with it yet. I want to experiment with it. And honestly, I might do a Daytona 500. I might tear a page out of the playbook. We'll see how I feel. It's just physiologically really hard on me. I'm older now.
I'll set it up with my guys to do that kind of practice session. We'll run however many laps till the tanks run out, and then we can do it that way too. Just keep running till the tanks run out, just to practice pit stops.
Sure. I'm being told that there are 4 hotkeys to set up for auto reset. So you'll need to set up hotkeys. You're going to want to be able to do this at the wheel.
Okay.
And then Stryker says that with the new auto reset feature, you can do it over and over and over. That's true. It's just 100 times. You can literally practice. That's going to be great for me because when I'm doing setup builds, I want to see what pit adjustments are the perfect pit adjustments for that end of race green white checker scenario. But that's less applicable. The next gen car drives like such crap unless you fill it up because of the splitter ride height.
Yeah.
And I am going to experiment with, because you can lower the splitter. You can take fuel out, and if you just go positive on both of the spring perch offsets, I'm referring to open racing here, positive spring perch offsets will lower the rear at that corner. So if you can lower both corners equally, you can get the exact same ride height on an empty tank as you would have on a full. So I do need to do some experimenting with that. So
But yeah,
but
next week.
Congratulations, man. I'm relieved because I was really pissed off that your teammate there just Justin. I can't believe. Well, you know, and to his credit, he's a 0.8K, right? So he's a sub 1,000 driver. But mentor him. Take the time to teach him that if you spin, put 2 in. You know, teach him that little thing. And repeat it. Make him stand up. When I was a little kid and I was naughty in school, they used to make me stand up at the chalkboard and write out. It was Mr. Brown, man. Mr. Brown. That was his class where he have you stand at the chalkboard and you would have to write 100 times the sentence, I will follow proper procedure. I will follow proper procedure. He made us write that out 100 times on the chalkboard, you know, after school. So you'd be standing at the chalkboard, you'd fill the chalkboard once, you'd have to erase, start over again. I will follow proper procedure. And you'd count, make sure you did it. So he needs to repeat to himself 100 times, if you spin, put 2 in. If you spin, put 2 in. It's critical.
Yeah.
It will save other cars. It will save your car. It will make people, even if you wreck people, if they look and see, well, he locked his brakes up, he did all he could, right? That's what they expect to see.
Yeah. It sucked, but hey, we're in it.
Congratulations. That's going to be cool. What day is it? It's going to be next week, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it'll be same time next week.
No, don't start with the back row talent stuff because there are a lot of, look at any NASCAR race. Virtually every NASCAR race, somebody is being sent to the back of the line because they did something to their car that they shouldn't have, for example.
Well, yeah, and that's what they, I think it was Noah was telling me because he's the CEO of the league. There's a couple things that are still under review from the race, but being it finished how it did and I still got the provisional, I'm not worried about me being cut out of the race for any reason.
Right, right. I doubt it, unless something changes or it puts
If
somebody out in front of
anything,
you.
it
But
would probably put me more forward.
yeah, because it's a provisional, you're probably guaranteed to be in that part of it. And who cares where you start? It's a plate track. You're better off at the back.
Yeah.
You know, one of the names that you might recognize from the world of plate track racing is somebody I used to spot for. I used to hang out with him quite a bit. And he still comes on my stream and hangs out once in a while. But Kyler Wynn. And Kyler Wynn wins a lot of plate track races. But he's also a little impish, so he starts a lot of shit on the track too. But that's another subject. He's a good plate track racer. He wins races. And what he will do is he'll do 2 or 3 laps with a group of people because he wants to look around him and see who's out there and how they drive. But once he figured that, once he knows, once he's taken inventory of the people he's on the track with, he shoots right down to the apron and he backs out of it. He just gets right out of it. He goes to the back right on purpose. He qualifies up front because he wants a pit box towards the end of pit road. And not in the middle somewhere where you're dipping and dodging, trying to get through a bunch of other people that are trying to pit, right? You want to be at the beginning or the end of pit road at Daytona, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So he just goes to the back, lets people go demolish themselves because all the 0.8Ks in the world are going to go up there. Oh my God, I'm leading. You know, they're all excited, you know, sweaty palms, white knuckles. And then they wreck the field from the front. Who wants to be there when that happens? I'll pass.
I get you. Well, I'm gonna go catch up with. I don't know if they're still even in chat. I'm gonna go catch up with people and just wait for everything to be official. But as of right now, from what JCTV had and what Noah was providing them, I am in.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for coming back and sharing the news. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on the box again.
You got
especially
it.
for the season.
You bet, man. It'll be fun. It'll be a Tuesday night activity for the stream to watch Jawb do their thing. They got a good track schedule. I've seen it earlier. It's going to be fun. You're going to like
got
it.
some good drivers here too. That's what makes me scared about the whole qualifying thing. If
Oh,
we
don't
have
worry about
40
that.
Plus,
Don't
if we have
worry
40
about
plus
that.
every week, it's gonna be a struggle to make the field.
There's really only one driver you need to worry about. You know who he is. So that's you.
Yeah.
You do you.
Control what I can control.
Uh-huh. You need to get some practice. You need to get some experience. You take care of yourself. The rest of it, the cards will just fall where they fall. You don't even think about it because, you know, there could be a 7, 8K driver out there. I don't think I've seen one, but if there was, that driver could... Dylan Parker's a 5.1K, right? He could get wrecked out. You don't know what's up. You know what I mean? You could cruise around a lap down, P18, freaking all race long and end up a podium or a win.
Yeah.
So you have to not be intimidated by other drivers, especially the I rating. That's just a number. It almost means nothing. It means a little bit, but not
Thing with
much.
This league, I'm not intimidated by any of these guys. I just know they're good. And luckily,
Uh-huh.
the first race is plate track, so we're gonna get a little bit of luck on our side there, and we're gonna go out and give them hell.
That's the spirit.
I have no other spirit to give at this point. Like, we just gotta go give it hell. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, to give me a good shot at this going down the line, I'm assuming at some point provisionals will probably come on points.
It would be a good learning experience for you too, because I'll be there to coach.
Exactly. And
You're
we
gonna
got
learn a lot.
100 laps to go out there and work. Now we're really gonna get into the thick of it. I mean, these first couple races you and I have been working together have been short races. This is
They've also been plate tracks. There's no technique.
yeah. And after next week, we go to actual tracks.
Right, that's what I'm excited about, because they do have a really, really good... I'm keen on the schedule. I like Jawb's schedule for this season.
It's a strong schedule, and I think I have a good chance to run anywhere in the top 10, top 5 at most of the tracks.
Yep, even if you don't win 5 of the races, you can still Matt Crafton the series.
Yeah, the way they run their points, I can absolutely make playoffs if I just focus on solid finishes.
Yep. That's going to be the key.
All right, I'm going to head out of here and go chit-chat it up.
Okie doke, man. You have a good night. See you later,
Thank you
John.
again.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. So, yep, that was our driver. Let's go look. I got a couple of PMs here. Oh, goody. Dustin sent me a picture of his... Oh, cool, dude. I like that setup. Holy cow, look at all the contingency stickers you put on your rig in the back of the seat. Yeah, that's an awesome little man cave, dude. I like it. You got a nice rig. I kind of like it. It's actually like mine, except mine's built out of wood. Alright, Striker. Alright, so let me change gears here a minute, folks. First thing I'm going to do is bid you two goodbye, but only temporarily. I will be back, YouTube. You can stay on the channel and watch for the live notice. We're going to close the chapter on the Slide Job League, and I will restart the YouTube stream for DMZ momentarily. So, yeah, we'll be back. And then